first fight deal with him was Jamil beating Jamal. So that's what I heard. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna let some other people chime in on this topic before I move on. But definitely stay live with us. I thought I was live on YouTube. Apparently I wasn't. But we are live officially on YouTube. So Jasmine K Boxing, go ahead, go over there, subscribe, and jump in the live chat for me there. Thank you. You have a good night. All right, let's see here. Who else we got that wants to chime in on this particular topic? Who's a talented kid? Okay, I guess me accepting you live is not working. All right, so the next topic, I'm gonna move on now. Oh, Garcia, yeah, I think Top Rank is definitely I have confidence that they're going to position him well, and especially with there being more opportunities for title fights, I'm confident that Top Rank is definitely going to land one of those fights for Garcia soon. If not this year, for sure next year. All right, the next topic, we are moving on. We were just talking about the landscape of the middleweight division with Jamal Charlo being stripped. Now, what I had you guys chime in on for topics was the prospect of Tank versus Loma. I think maybe what was meant by that was the potential fight between Tank and Loma. I had that a couple of times, so let's talk about that. I talked about this Monday when I jumped on live. I don't know if some of y'all remember. I see some familiar faces and names. But Loma, okay, he beats Kambosos. He gets him out of there. Knockout victory with a body shot landed to end the fight. I picked Loma to win this fight against Kambosos. I just felt like Loma was just, granted that he's surpassed his prime and he's towards the end of his career, I felt like he was and still is a threat. I think the experience that he has at this point still makes him a threat in the division, as well as a factor that you just can't count out when you're going up against him. He had the fight against Haney, arguably was a close fight. A lot of people gave the fight to Loma versus Haney. I think had Loma turned it up a little bit more sooner, then I think he would have got the win. But for whatever reason, if that was because of Haney's pressure and his game plan that just kind of, disabled him from being able to activate much sooner, I don't know what it was. But point being, he did not turn it up until later in the fight, and at that point, Haney already had rounds over him. So I feel as though, given the fact that Loma has come out after the fight and has said that, it's harder for him to make these fights happen. The motivation basically isn't there. This particular fight, he used his father as motivation and dedicating the fight to him. One of the things I wonder with that, I think a lot of us took it as, he was just dedicating this fight to his father. Simply like, I'm doing this for you because I love you. But I wonder if he was actually dedicating the fight to his father in the sense of allowing for his father to have redemption as a trainer, and allowing for him to have that redemption as a trainer, coming back from a devastating loss. So I wonder if that's really what he meant, and maybe at first we just didn't catch on to the meaning of him dedicating the fight to his dad. But anyways, motivation is just not there anymore. He said it out his mouth. So when you have a guy that's towards the end of their career, the prime has surpassed, and they're not really motivated anymore. It's like, okay, if he continues to fight, what fight is the best fight for him right now? I think at this point, okay, he's proven himself that, okay, I can become a world champion again. He is now a world champion. But is he still chasing legacy? Is he still chasing that undisputed status? Becoming, in this particular division, would it be 2-time undisputed? I don't know. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But it doesn't seem like that's what he's chasing. So I think if that's the case, and if he continues to fight, then he has to make the best fight that makes the most sense for him. And I feel like that's going to be a money fight. Like, why not maximize money-wise on a fight and let that be the motivation? So if that's the case, then yes, I want to see him versus Tank. Now, another thing that I brought up is, does Tank beat him right now? Absolutely. Absolutely. In my opinion, Tank beats Loma. But had this fight took place a few years ago, before he fought Tiafimo, before, let's see, who else? Who did he? Let me see here. I'm talking about like between 2017 and 2020. Had he fought Tank in those years, I don't know. I think it would have been a very challenging fight, a more challenging fight for Tank then than it is right now. Yeah, if he fought Tank back in like 2018, coming back from defeating Linares, Pedraza, and Luke Campbell, I think it would have been a problem. And that's no knock to Tank. I mean, this is what we're talking about when we talk about Kid Austin versus Ashton Slive, and those two guys having that fight now where they're still developing, nowhere near their prime, you know. Flash forward to Tank now fighting Loma, Loma not being in his prime, Loma being at the end of his career. Maybe we could have got it a little bit sooner. Maybe it could have been a replacement between him fighting Tiafimo and him actually fighting Tank in that particular instance. But whatever it is, we're here now. I think Tank wins now. I think it's a great opportunity for Tank, and I think it's a win opportunity for Loma because it's a money fight for Loma. That would be a huge fight, a huge fight. Big, big, big fight. All right. Okay, Mac, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Who was undisputed? Loma was never undisputed. I'll have to go back and see. I'm not as... Yeah, he wasn't. At the most, he had 3 titles, not all 4. He would have had the first undisputed shot versus Haney. Okay, we're on the same page now. We cleared that up. But yeah, anybody else want to chime in on that? Otherwise, I will be moving on to the next topic. By the way, guys, I am reading the chats on YouTube because I want you guys to subscribe to YouTube and join me live going forward on YouTube versus Instagram. I'm using Instagram for you guys to actually come in as like a caller. But, all right, Mac McKenzie said, I thought Loma would have been dominating the main competition like Canelo did / does, but I was wrong. Usyk will have a better legacy than Loma when it's all said and done. Okay. That's a strong statement, Mac. I'm not mad at it, though. I think for a while, Loma had a good run, though. I feel like for a while, Loma was dominating. He was definitely dominating. I think between maybe him going to fight for his country hurt him more than what we're giving it credit for. Because after he fought for his country, he came back and he fought Tiafimo. So I don't know. Before a minute, like I said, he had a good run. He was definitely dominating the division. When you thought about the lightweight division, super lightweight division, you thought about Lomachenko. Like, I was even rooting for Loma and thinking that Loma had the edge over Teofimo. I was shocked that Teofimo beat him. That kind of put me on notice for Teofimo after that fight. Let's see. Anybody else got a comment on that? I am reading the comments on YouTube. Jasmine K Boxing, join us live there. If you want a direct link to the stream, go to my stories and Instagram and click the link, and you can join us here and you can chat with us on here. Okay, moving on to the next topic because, oh, wait, we got a caller. Okay, we got Tay Jones trying to jump in. Tay, what's up?
What's up, champ? What's going on?
Nothing much. Finally got you on. Thank you.
Yeah. What's happening? What's going on?
Nothing much. You know, we're talking about the potential Loma versus Tank. If that's the smartest fight for Loma to take next. You know, the comparison to Tank having the advantage now versus if they fought 4 years ago, what it would have looked like. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know if it's. I think that'll be a hard fight to make, considering the fact that Loma is 35 now, I believe it is, somewhere along in there. I think that'll be a hard fight to make.
You don't think he would step up, or he would do a catch weight?
Not if he can fight Navarrete for a unified belt.
Okay.
And that's why I see that happening next. I just see
wait. Let me go back. You saying you don't think Tank's still 135 though?
Yeah, Navarrete moving up.
So you think he gonna take the Navarrete fight over Tank? Period.
I think it'll make more sense from Lomachenko.
Okay, in the sense of him capturing another title, or because it's a more winnable fight.
More winnable and possibly capturing another title. Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
And like I said before, and then of course, I'm not gonna say the money fight will be Gervonta Tank Davis, but of course, is Loma willing to go that way? Is he willing to go that route? I don't believe he's willing to go that route.
Why is that?
That's what I feel believe. Right. So we're not.
Why is that? You think it'll tarnish like his legacy if he goes that route?
Loma, no, he can't take that heat. Loma, no, he can't take that heat. I mean, we see what's the other guy name? The one that cracked Devin, I forget his name.
Linares?
Linares. Come on now, Linares dropping with a straight right. What you think Tank gonna do with a straight left?
Hey,
just make think a little bit. You know what I mean? It get hot in that kitchen.
I definitely think Tank knocks him out. I definitely do.
Right. Now to what you were saying about if it had happened earlier, I mean, I still think Tank would have beat him had it happened earlier. But I think that since Tank is older, he's been in the ring, got a lot more experience. I think that Tank wouldn't rely too much on his power. He can actually box with Lomachenko now.
Okay.
But I think it still would be. I think either way, it still would have been the same result.
Yeah.
Whether it was at 130 or 135, because now truthfully, if it was at 130, Tank probably would have killed him.
Really? But do you think Tank would have? We talking about prime Loma that has the speed still, that has the angles, that is way more shiftier, a little bit more aggressive. You still think Tank could have handled it?
Yeah. I mean, just from being in the gym with just from being in the gym with Tank, whenever he come down here and train with us, just from seeing the different guys he sparred, I know for a fact he probably would have killed one. You know what I mean? And this was from southpaws, bigger, stronger, taller. You know, whether it was in their weight class, whether it was orthodox, bigger, stronger, taller, in different weight class.
Yeah.
You know, and I know people give Tank a lot of slack of who he fought, but he can't have too much of a say-so on who he fought. You see what I'm saying? And he's just doing what the boss at the time when he was with Mayweather Promotions had him fighting.
Yeah.
Now that he's with Al, he got more of a voice. He got more of a say-so. You see what I'm saying? So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got this twist. Say, all right, we talk about positioning because we know Tank is the biggest fight money-wise for him to take on right now. It's the biggest risk though, but the reward is the biggest. Do you see it being he provides him or he puts himself in position to have leverage by, let's say, going up against Navarrete? I think seeing Navarrete versus Robson Conceição, I kind of got a lot of question marks and think that Loma could beat him based on that performance. Now, we got to see what he does moving up in weight. But let's say that Loma goes up against Navarrete. He captures that title as well. And now he has 3 titles. IBF, IBO, and they're fighting for what? The WBO?
Yes.
So now 3 titles. Let's say Tank, he retains the WBA versus Frank. Now it's like, okay, I got 3 titles as opposed to your 1. You may be the face of boxing, but at the end of the day, I got more titles. So does that, him going that route, getting that fight, capturing that belt first, and then fighting Tank, does that give him a bigger percentage of the purse? Do you think? Or you think it's just Tank outright, face of boxing? Still, it'll be a biggest money fight, but...
Yeah, it's still gonna go. It's still gonna swing in a way in the favor of Tank. You know, when you get Al Heyman money, you get Al Heyman checks. Al Heyman ain't gonna let you. He gonna let you go too far. You see what I'm saying? Now, what I will say is, now if it came to that, to where they can't come to the agreement like the Bud and Earl did, then of course, if Tank really want that fight, then all he got to do is say, Al, give him what he wants, just like Earl did for Bud. But in this, I don't think that's happening. You know, because if that was the case, Devin Haney would have got his shot against Tank too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, right now, what's the bigger fight? Tank versus Loma or Tank versus Devin?
Shit. Everybody wants to see Tank versus Devin.
Devin most hated right now, so you know what?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, that's a fight that, I wouldn't mind seeing either fight. I know people been hyping up Lomachenko for a long time. But man, like I said before, if you're an athletic fighter, and I'm gonna tell you, we seen that with Teofimo Lopez. If you're a fighter that can fight and you athletic,
yeah,
you got a significant chance to beat Lomachenko.
Yeah,
Devin Haney, same.
That's a good point.
He can box. He's not a big puncher, but he can box. And he's very athletic. He beat Lomachenko. It was close, but he beat him.
Yeah.
Same thing with Tank. You got Tank, my daughter. So you got Tank and, don't put it on your daughter. You got Tank who can punch. Not only can he punch, he can box as well. He beats Lomachenko.
Okay. I'm a jump on this question, and then I got a question for you. All right, so Outspoken 520 Boxing said, I think Tank beats him now, but both fighters have experience. People got to remember Tank and Loma is the same size. The difference is power for Tank and footwork and speed for Loma. Okay. What do you think about that? I think Tank can be explosive, but I haven't necessarily seen him verse anybody lately that really highlights his speed. That really pulls that out of him. I think he has good footwork though.
Right.
I definitely would say that. Okay, my question. What was my question? Damn, it was something about Devin. I forgot.
Been most hated?
You said what?
Devin been most hated?
No, it wasn't necessarily that. It was something in relation to like their styles. Oh, okay, so with Devin, I feel like Devin had an opportunity to learn a lot from Loma. And I think a lot of us felt like we could see the difference between the experience that he gained in the ring with Loma versus when he went up against Regis and the display that he put on then. But then we had him against Ryan, and it was like it just went out the window. And one of the things that I was saying coming into that fight was, towards the later rounds, Loma was throwing the straight. He was getting him with the straight right, but he also, I feel like, was catching him with the left. And we know he's a southpaw, so that's that. But at the same time, we know Ryan's left hand. Everybody be talking about the right hand, but I feel like Ryan's left hand, like he throws that just as much, if not more. So I thought that Haney would have learned from that fight how to defend the left a little bit better. I thought they would have trained for that in training camp. Maybe they did, and live situation, it just went out the door. But do you think that now that we have both these fights, him versus Regis, that performance, and now him versus Ryan Garcia, did he really pick anything up from being in the ring with Loma?
I think that he did. I really do, because you can definitely see it in the Regis fight, right?
Right.
I think ultimately, me as a fighter, it's one or two things that happen in the fight that that people may not know or seen with Ryan Garcia. One is him being over pretty much wanting to compete what Tank did to Ryan Garcia. I believe one or two things. The first thing, I believe that he really wanted to come and put on the show, and him putting on the show was knocking out Ryan earlier than what Tank did. Okay, because what that does for him is say, okay, I knocked him out too. Not only did I knock him out, I did it better in a grand fashion than you did. And secondly, I got some name and some rank behind me now too as well. So that way, when I talk negotiations, I can sway a little bit more percentage my way. I think that's one. And I also believe the game plan. I believe that Devin's father, Bill, wanted one game plan, and Devin wanted to say, I'm going for the kill. That's that on that. Right? That's what I can see that. Mm-hmm. Right? And the other part of it is that Ryan throwing that left hand, and now we know what's going on with him. Who knows that played a part, but if you know anything about what Osterine does, it could have played a part. But from the very first punch, Devin's equilibrium was off. Yeah, he did box, and he did box if you ask me, he still boxed phenomenally. But I also believe at the same time that Devin was still kind of shook from that very first punch of the fight. I still believe that his equilibrium was off, because there's no way you continue to get hit with the same left hand over and over and over again. Although he did complete the second through the sixth round, but everything started from 7, 8 and on up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, he had phenomenal boxing between other than those rounds, and I believe that whenever Ryan did get off and throw that left hand, he was there to be hit. And I kept seeing Devin. I seen Devin get off his game.
Yeah.
And started trying to walk down Ryan. That's not Devin's game.
Yeah.
That's not his game at all. So when I see that, I'm like, yeah, maybe he got off the game plan. Maybe his equilibrium was off, and maybe he's fighting with heart. And that's what I thought. I saw him fighting with heart. I didn't see him fighting with a mind. I didn't see him boxing. I see him fighting with a heart.
Just trying to survive.
Exactly.
So then with your experience and with your knowledge, like if you was in that corner, what are you telling him? Okay, the equilibrium is off because he obviously keeps getting hit with the left hand. So what are you telling him to do differently? Are you telling him to move away from the left? Or like what are you What are you telling him?
We're going back to what he does best. His best thing is his best boxing ability is making sure he's establishing a jab. Mm-hmm. That's one. Two, stop walking towards him. Stop trying to walk towards him and walk him down. Stay in the middle of the ring. Mm. When you stay in the middle of the ring, you can box. You can pivot to your left, right, south, north, however you want to do. Right? You can continue to just box. Mm-hmm. And make sure you stay away from the left hand. Yeah, we know the right coming. I believe you can get out the way of that right, but that left is killing you. Right. And continue to stay in the middle of the ring, box, and not go back to the ropes. Because when he get on the ropes, he wants to throw the left hand.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it's on.
And the right was following the left. It wasn't vice versa. Whether it was him throwing the left hook first, or if it was him jabbing with the left, flicking the jab out there, and then throwing the right. So my other question is, for those who don't have that in-ring experience, staying center in the middle of the ring and having the fight take place in the middle of the ring, is that just constantly him pivoting, turning that back foot for that to happen?
Yeah, pivoting, turning back foot, and of course he can walk off as well. Mm-hmm. As long as he's not putting his back on the ropes, because we got to think his equilibrium is off. So I'm not gonna put myself in jeopardy to be on the back rope on the ropes to where I got to pivot one way, and he might be setting me up to go to the right, but I need to get out and escape to the left, and I get hit with the left hook. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Or if I'm trying to go to the right and get hit with the left hook, excuse me. But stay in the middle, brother. You got great boxing ability. We've seen that for the last 4, 5, 6 fights. Yeah. Kambosos boxed his head off. Lomachenko found later rounds took away his jab. In the later rounds took away his jab. Okay, cool. Came back and fought Regis. He got a little girth on his body. Went up to 140, got a knockdown. Maybe he was feeling himself. But ultimately, we saw him boxing. Yeah. And you can't get away from that. One thing about boxing, you gotta continue to know what you do best and know your MO, what you do best. And what Devin does best is what? Box. Yep. What are we getting away from it for? Yep. You know what I'm saying? So
and maybe that's the lesson in this fight, is that at the end of the day, you gotta stick to who you are. Like, we already know that, but now you felt it. Now you've seen what it has cost you. Regardless of allegations of, him, not allegations, but him testing positive and et cetera, et cetera. So, going forward, first I'll ask, do you feel like Bill was out-coached versus Derrick James and not being able to make adjustments? I don't really recall hearing much of Haney's corner. And I don't know if that's because they just didn't go to the corner as much, or if that was because there wasn't a whole lot of instructions going on and they didn't go to the corner because of that. But do you think Bill got out-coached in that fight?
Oh, man, that's tough, because I ain't gonna lie, that's tough for me to answer, because we didn't hear too much going on in that corner. Although we did see DJ imitating things that Ryan should do in the ring, but Ryan wasn't doing them either. so you see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's really hard to say if he was out coached, because I remember seeing an interview where DJ was saying that, it was the right hand, and it wasn't. And the whole world like, no.
Yeah, because he was saying, like, look at his face, and you could tell that. I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, so it's like, man, I just think that, no, I don't think he got out coached.
Okay. Okay.
That was a tough question, though.
Yeah, I mean, people been down Bill's neck lately, so I had to ask it. And depending on how you answered, I was going to ask, do you feel like from now on, because the competition gets tougher and the stakes get higher, does he continue to get out-coached? Or does he also learn from that fight?
I think Devin listens from that fight.
See, I would say that Devin usually listens, so you think now he a little bit more tuned in?
From knowing what I know, I believe Devin listens now. listens even and trusts even more.
From the live moment, or even like going back to training camp?
Just going back to training camp and listening from the live moment.
Okay.
I believe he trusts more instead of trying to do what he wanted to accomplish.
Okay.
You know how sometimes you can get too much dip on your chip, right?
And too much dip. Like okay, that's the first one.
So, like, we seen Devin come up to 140.
Mm-hmm.
He filled out, rehydrated well. He wasn't, all sunken in like he was at 35. And we seen him drop Regis, hurt Regis.
Yeah.
So he's fooling himself. He believes, no, they can't. They say I can't punch. Now I got everybody knowing I almost knocked him out.
Yeah.
What can Ryan do? I can do the same things I do, or did. But knowing what I know from people who I've spoken to, I would say Devin listens more.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Okay. I appreciate that perspective. All right, I don't think nobody else is trying to join in, so I'm gonna keep you on.
Okay.
Let's see. What was the next question? Outspoken 520 boxing again. I think Ryan antics played a major role of Devin game plan because he was so frustrated with Ryan.
You got Greg Hackett in here. I'm sorry.
You said what?
You got Greg Hackett in here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't cut you off.
No, you good. Okay, so he said, I think Ryan antics played a major role of Devin game plan because he was so frustrated with Ryan and threw him off fighting a style that wasn't him. I definitely feel like the antics, could throw anybody off. But I feel like in watching everything take place from this particular fight, if anybody else fights Ryan going forward, like, it's just smoke and mirrors at this point. I'm not feeding into all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it feels like he showed his full deck as to, okay, this worked for me. And obviously, he's still doing it. Right. So, if I'm anybody else taking a fight with him, then I'm not necessarily falling into that. But I definitely think that it played a part.
We're talking about the crazy stuff Ryan was doing?
From the kidnapping to the not having his phone to the different agreements that he had every day that he broke 5 minutes after saying all these agreements.
I think all that was, I'm going to say it was promotion, but I thought that was more way for Ryan to get money. You know what I'm saying? Again, you get paid off, not YouTube, but you get paid off the Instagram, you get paid on the Twitter, you get on Spaces every day. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like that was more money he just collected. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Because, he got a percentage of the fight, but it wasn't what he wanted.
Right.
So I just felt like that was a clever thing that Ryan was doing. He's not dumb. He's not retarded. He's not stupid. Yeah, he has fallen short, and claim, what's the word I'm looking for? And said that he was mentally ill, right? Mentally illness. That's been.
By the way, I think he might be bipolar for real. There's definitely something there. There's definitely something there.
I do believe there's something there, but we may not ever know.
Yeah.
But man, I wasn't buying into it. I was just pretty much saying, dude, just tripping. He got too much going on. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of made me, at the same time, it made me uninterested in the fight as well.
Me too. I would say that, I get, like, you try to use what you have and you try to, figure it out along the way. But if I'm a fan that originally was excited for this fight and was going to travel to New York for this fight, purchase a ticket for this fight, I'm thinking the whole entire time, like, this fight's not going to happen.
Right.
And then it did get... Yeah, then it got to the point where it was just like, I'm just sick of seeing this. Like, every single day, my whole feed, and kudos to him for being able to pull it off, to flood all of our shit with all of his bullshit. But it did get to the point where it's like, I'm sick of scrolling and seeing Ryan Garcia.
Right.
So
and it was talking every single day as well.
All day. Like all day. By sunrise, he was apologizing and he was telling us what he wasn't gonna do. And by dusk, his ass was doing everything under the sun that he said he wasn't gonna do and more. But
yeah, but see, that's crazy because DJ said he was training the entire time. You know, he just was fooling us. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I really do think dude got a lot of stuff going on, though. I really do.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see. Mr. Large 3. Bill coached his game plan, but DJ made adjustments and exposed the flaws. One plan was better than the other one.
But where did DJ make
adjustments?
Ryan didn't make any adjustments. You got to remember, Ryan got outboxed for almost 5 straight rounds.
Yep. And the only adjustment that I can recall Derek James talking about was when he went on Sean Porter's podcast and he said that he told Ryan, like, you're focusing so much on landing the left hook. Was it landing the right hook, or I think it was the right hook. Maybe it was the left. He was telling him he was so focused on landing that he needed to set it up better and he needed to follow it behind the jab. That's the only other plan adjustment that I've heard that I've potentially seen.
He did, because I remember he caught Devin with the left hook. It was a jab and he hooked off of it. I do remember that, and he hurt Devin off of it. Mm-hmm. But one adjustment that everybody should remember was when Ryan walked away from Devin and started moving around the ring. I think that was by the 3rd round. He started just moving and circling around the ring.
Yeah.
That was another adjustment, because that 2nd round, it looked like Ryan was going to get the beats put on.
It did.
Sure.
It did. Yeah. Okay, the other question or the other statement: the mental and discipline is just as important as skill. The best comparison is when Roberto Duran and Leonard won when Duran was assaulting Ray and his wife at that time. He made Ray fight his fight. 100% agree. That was definitely, I feel like, a page from Duran's book.
Yeah, he made Devin fight his fight. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got Mike Thrill. Oh, he talking about I'm in this thing now. Okay, what's up, Thrill? Thank you for joining. Okay, let's see what else. Garcia's behavior was disgusting. This is from Adrian. Bringing child abuse into it and claiming that he knew about abuse rings was questionable. Child trafficking rings, basically. It was a lot going on. It was almost like Ryan just, like, he's been down the rabbit hole and just has not been able to get out and has been able to, have this dual functionality between reality and anything other. But yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, at one point he was selling t-shirts for this. Yeah, you can definitely tell it was like one of those, maybe he's trying to have a spiritual awakening and he's like tapping into different things and he's seeing different stuff going on, and he claims that he's been a part of different things and whatever, but it felt like it was very out of control.
Right.
Which is why I also say that there's definitely some underlying mental issues going on with him.
I do believe that as well.
Because he can't control it. Like, it's like uncontrollable tics that he has. Yeah.
So I'm interested. I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. The 22nd. Matter of fact, that's the day I go to Riyadh. But the 22nd.
What's in Riyadh the 22nd? Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got it. Okay. So, the 22nd is approaching. Mm-hmm. What do you think Ryan would do then? What you think his next thing is going to be?
You know what? Like, it's the 22nd is around the corner, but I just feel like there's so many days in between now and the 22nd. You talking about as far as like his antics and who he's calling out and all that stuff. Like, I really just don't even know. I don't even know. I feel like at this point, like he's a wild card and a joker call it, and I just can't. I can't call it. I don't know what's for real, what's not for real. You know, what's within. You know, he's talking about 99% of the chance he's trolling, and there's 1% he actually wants to fight with Spence, and I think that's a horrible idea. A horrible idea. And now he's talking about he going up to light heavyweight to fight Benavidez. Like, it's just, at this point, he just need to have some sparring wars, and I don't know.
He just wants attention. To me, it just seemed like he wants some attention.
Yeah, I thought it was going to stop after the fight was over, and it has not stopped.
No, it got worse.
Yeah. And it's like the more attention he gets, like the more he feeds into it.
It's just like, I don't know if you saw this, but his dad, Henry, they asked him about Boots after the fight.
I didn't see that.
It was like, what about people? So it's like, Brian, you called all these guys out, but in actuality, your dad, who's one of your managers, he don't want those fights that you're talking about. He wants big bulls. So it lets me know that he don't want any of those fights. He don't want none of those problems.
He's just talking.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple more comments on this and then I'll move on to the next topic. Adrian said he either knows offenders and said nothing about it, which is weird, or made it up, which is weird. Yeah, the whole situation is just super suspect. It's one of those things where you have a platform and you have a voice and you have no idea how to use it. At this point, yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. Okay, let's see. Thank you guys who have just subscribed and are joining the live. Definitely appreciate it. Okay, next topic is, let's jump to Tank versus Frank. And what that looks like. I'm giving an edge to Tank in this fight. I think Tank is just a superior fighter. I think he has the better experience, more experience. I think he has the better IQ. I think he is able to fight forward and backwards. Let's just say, because my whole thing has been, if I'm Frank coming into this fight, my game plan is somewhat centered around taking the ability of Tank to be a counterpuncher, which is what we know he's best at. So then that moves me from fighting forward to now inviting him to come forward. But we know Tank can fight forward. So it's like, pick your poison. So I definitely have Tank winning this fight. And I got it by knockout.
What round?
Ooh. I say I think I said it earlier, between the 7th and the 9th.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. What you got?
I was thinking like 9 and 10.
Okay.
There's some people who think that, Tank is not focused. Some people feel that, Tank is not focused because every time he opens his mouth or says something, he's talking about Devin Haney.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that you have to know Tank, or have been around Tank to know how he is. He's a shit talker, and he's a shit talker, like talking junk all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a cool cat, playful type guy, but he'll talk shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just who he is, and I just think that if people don't know that, they wouldn't know. Do I think that he's taking Frank lightly? Absolutely not, because he wouldn't be on weight already.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's one of my very reasons. If you seen Tank, before the Pitbull Cruz fight, Tank always came in he was always heavy after he fought. But now you don't see Tank like that. And recently you start seeing Tank chiseled up.
Yeah.
Before the fight.
Yeah.
We know he went away, things of that nature, but I just think that Frank is maybe, and I agree with Tank, I think Frank took the fight too early. I do. Because there's other fights that Frank could have taken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the mandatory for the WBA, but at the same time, there's still fights that he still could have taken just to continue polishing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did beat Arthur Henian. He did beat him. Arthur was a former Olympian himself. I think he got a bronze medal, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he did beat him, but he struggled to beat him. And he may have learned something from that fight, and he may not. But now you waited over a year to fight again. So whatever you learn is
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and not only that, Frank is a late bloomer. Frank didn't start boxing fights to 2021, somewhere along in there, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had a short amateur career, but we're talking about Gervonta Tank Davis, who had 200 some odd amateur fights.
Yeah.
He traveled over the UK, he fought in the UK. Of course, main events here in Atlanta, New York, LA, everywhere else. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Who's fights? And I do agree with Tank when Frank come out and he for the first time he see those lights going off, he's gonna be like, oh shit, I'm here. Yeah, it's gonna hit him. You know what I mean? But I like fighters like Tank, but I see Tank dominating. You know what I'm saying? Not because Frank is a slouch or whatever people may want to call it, but I just think he's maybe 3 fights too early.
Yeah. I feel all that valid points and agree. I think, however, similar to what Tank was able to do and boost in Rolly's career, I think that happens for Frank. Obviously, it depends on how bad the beating is. You know, Rolly, for the most part, it wasn't too bad of a beating. Like, Rolly, you could tell he fought with his heart, gave it his all, not even walked into a bad shot. Tank just countered him, you know? But I feel one of my questions, like if I had a question to Frank, would be, what has been the difference between post or pre the fight being made, post the fight being made, in his stock and the attention that he's gained? I feel like 100%, if I had to assume, his stock has gone up. A lot of people are, you know, so now it's like, okay, everybody's like, who is this kid? Casual fans aren't going back and watching to see what fights he had and how he performed. So I feel like even if he lose, I think that he still could come back from it. I think that he, you know, even though it's a couple of fights too early, I still feel like there's a win for him.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe that, you know, the fans who do not love and appreciate Tank, they're going to flock more to Frank. And then, of course, his promoter, which is Earl Spence Jr., he got all his fans, too. You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
For me, honestly, it's really a catch-22 win-win situation for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm right there with you. I can definitely see that. And I believe that he has gained a lot of fans. And he has matter of fact, he has one of my good friends, Elijah Pierce, you know, who did some rounds with Tank, you know what I mean? I can't talk about that, but you know, I know what happened, but who did some rounds with Tank, and he's down there with Frank Martin in camp, so people starting to take heed of that. So by that happening, you got people like, hey man, you know, you know how that goes. So so it's a lot of people picking up on Frank Martin for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, I seen Elijah was in camp. And I would have never thought that he would have called him for camp, but I mean, it makes sense.
Because Elijah has, he got the Olympic pedigree as well. He got the Olympic pedigree. Elijah can box. Elijah can move, right? And he can set up shots such as what Gervonta Tank Davis does. I think that Tank is just he's a bigger puncher than Elijah, but they both can really punch.
Okay, so let me throw this wild card at you. Is Elijah more prepared for a fight with Tank right now than what Frank is?
Is Elijah more prepared?
Well, he's not in the same weight class, so.
He's not the same weight class.
Yeah, let me not.
I would say he is. I would say yes. The reason why I say that is because of the experience that Elijah has.
Yeah.
You know, but he may not have fought the competition that Tank has fought, right? But he has that Olympic pedigree. He has that outlandish amateur pedigree.
Yeah.
So he can keep up. You know, he can keep up for sure.
Okay.
All right, y'all forgot Frank's on Spaces tonight. Yeah, for sure. I'm checking in on that.
Yeah. I thought he was going on there earlier. But.
Yeah, he on Remy joint tonight.
Okay. All right, let me see. Let me read through some of these chats. Let me catch up. All right, somebody said Outspoken 520 says Outspoken 520 Boxing says Tank stops Frank in the 8th. Frank is too inexperienced.
See, that's where I'm at. And it's crazy. I really like Frank. You know what I mean? I really, really like Frank. Like I said, I just think he's 2 or 3 fights too early.
Yeah.
And I'm actually thinking like 9-10. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully this fight catapults him. Hopefully he gains a lot from this fight and can really soak it in. All right, the Boxing Menu Podcast Plus. Frank ain't going to be able to punch like that because of muscle and he don't like body shots. He also said Frank ain't fought nobody like Tank.
Yeah, true. I agree with that as well.
Yeah, and then he said it's going to be a chess match between Derrick James and Coach Calvin.
Yeah, I can see that. But at the same time, Tank is Tank too now.
Yeah, I think Tank is close to the point of like what we saw from Floyd, where Floyd goes back to the corner and he gonna listen and he'll take direction, but he already see it. He already know. And then he just ready to go out there and execute. I think Tank is there. Where he definitely, you could tell he definitely is locked in and he listens to Calvin, but I feel like his IQ is so like high. Like he probably already thinking it, and more so when he goes to the corner is being, okay, now it's solidified. Okay, now it's confirmation, yeah. The other thing he said was Tank training with Shushu Carrington. I don't know about Shushu. I mean, he done sparred a couple of guys that has gone out pictures with him.
Why would Tank be sparring Shushu though?
I don't know. Maybe the assumption is that he's sparring Shushu because he had DLX. I don't know. I mean, he's not doing his training camp specifically at DLX, but I've seen him at DLX gym and I've seen him at it's another gym. I want to say it's
Brickhouse.
You said what?
Brickhouse.
No, because he in Vegas. Brickhouse in LA, right?
Oh, yes, in LA. Oh, I thought he was in Vegas. I mean, not LA. I thought he was in LA. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's in Vegas. I've seen him. Have I seen him at DLX? I don't think I've seen him at DLX. But he's posted pictures with a couple of guys now. Like, you know, I feel like there's a few people that are coming through his camp that he's sparring with, but I don't think he's sparring Shushu. And like you said, why would he be sparring? Why would he be preparing with Shushu? Because it's not the same.
Unless he was just getting some rounds in, because Shushu's not southpaw.
Yeah. If you had to like add somebody to his camp to prepare him for Frank, who would it be?
That's the southpaw?
Mm-hmm.
Gary Antoine.
And he coming back.
Yeah, I would get with Gary Antoine. Why? Because Gary Antoine can punch. I do believe that Frank can punch. It may not be as hard as Tank, right? But I do believe he can punch. Gary Antoine can box. He can bang. Frank tries to box, but I also believe that Frank can bang as well. So that's just give you room right there to knock out everything in one session. When you bring a guy like Gary Antoine in,
Okay.
Who else would I bring in? I'm trying to think. Who's all 135 softballs?
That we know. Let's see.
I don't know who else is southpaw at 135. So if I was to go to 140, I could bring a guy like De Los Santos in. But why would I bring De Los Santos? Why would I bring De Los Santos in? And he'd be at DLS as well, because he just sparred with Brian Norman out there.
Oh, word.
So yeah, he just sparred with Brian Norman. So I can see him, getting some work with De Los Santos. But De Los Santos is a mover. Frank is not a mover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's southpaw work though. See what I'm saying? It gives him a different style of southpaw work.
Mm-hmm.
So De Los Santos, even if he wanted to get some work with Puelo at 140.
Puelo, I'm not familiar.
Puelo was the champion, but he had to give up the belts like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Because he tested positive. He was trying to get pregnant with his wife, so he took some type of pills, so he say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay. Interesting.
Who would you put?
I don't know a ton of southpaws in that division.
Right.
Even if I think super feather.
There's no way he's going with Chris Colbert.
Why you say no way? Because of his last performance, or?
Man, shit, yeah.
He ain't no good.
Man, I just, hey, man, he another one who had too much dip on the chip. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know a ton. I know some, but I won't say too much. But yeah. I know a little something, but it ain't meant for the public, so.
Okay, I got you.
I gotta gain my rankings, gain my respect, being able to hold water.
I got you.
I ain't gonna say a whole lot. Okay, let's see here. All right, what else we got? How often do you stream live? Is this a regular occurrence? Because I'm definitely tuning into these discussions in the future, watching and supporting from the UK. Okay, thank you, Adrian. So I go live every Wednesday, usually 7 p.m. Eastern time. Today I got home and I would say I'm a terrible pet parent because I forgot that my dog ran out of food. But I'm looking at his bowl right now and he still hasn't ate his food. So I'm going to take back a bad parent. But usually it's 7 p.m. Okay, some outspoken 520 boxer said, I agree. Gary Atune, the perfect sparring to prepare for Frank.
Yeah. And that's another thing I was going to say earlier. It slipped my mind. I don't think Frank has the speed to keep up with Javante St. Davis. For us, because I know you said something like he's going to have to counter the counter, which is Javante St. Davis countering. But I think he might be too slow for that.
Yeah, he ain't going to see it.
I think Frank got to punch whenever Tank punch. Or what did I say? No, Frank has to punch whenever
I got what you're saying. Whenever he yeah. Do you think he'll be conditioned to go all 12 rounds if it comes to that?
Frank?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know it's crazy. His genetics is crazy. It looked like he's a muscle built bound guy. But it might just be his genetics. It may not very well so be that he's just muscle bound. Right?
Yeah.
So, I believe he can go on 12. I believe he's going to be in the best shape ever. I believe he's going to get off the canvas 1 or 2 times as well. Because he's going to be that much of great shape.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to look at these bet lines and see, you know, what the odds are.
Yeah, you know that's my thing right there. So yeah, for sure.
You be on the bets.
Oh, all the time.
Oh, okay. So then, what's your bet line for that?
I'm gonna go look right now. I got you. Let me look right now. Cause I'm betting on some baseball right now, so I'm having my book pulled up. I'm heading over there right now. I'm logging in.
I don't know how y'all do it. Like I can't watch the sport the same when I bet on it versus when I don't. I can't. Man. The stress levels is through the roof.
So right now, where is it at? Let me see. On this book, I'm not getting one.
You say you're not getting one?
I'm not getting a line right now. They haven't put a line up for this.
Oh, really? I guess it's kind of soon.
But they normally have them out right now.
Yeah.
See, we in Atlanta, so I don't have FanDuel, so I know FanDuel may have it, DraftKings may have it, but I'm on Bovada right now and I don't see it. But let me check Bet Online, see if Bet Online have it right quick.
Yeah. See, usually I will log into like FanDuel and DraftKings, and I can see what it is, but obviously being here, I can't bet on it.
Oh, okay. So
you can. Yeah, I do have an account, and I haven't bet since I bet on Keyshawn as when he was on the weed, and I was expecting a knockout. I forgot who he was winning. I mean, who he fought. It was the guy that it ended up being a no contest.
He fought the black guy.
Yeah.
That dude, he from Toronto, Ennis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that kid can fight.
Okay. Yeah, I thought he was gonna knock him out, and it didn't happen, and it also wasn't like a typical Keyshawn performance. I don't know if it was the weed or if it was his opponent.
So I got a question for you now. How do you feel about Keyshawn?
I'm still a fan. I feel like his last fight versus Pedraza, I feel like he picked back up where he left off. And I mean, he's still been stringing along wins and good wins, but I could definitely tell the difference. Before Pedraza, like those last couple of fights, how he looked, it didn't look like the businessman Keyshawn Davis. Now I feel like, okay, he back on track, healthy. So I'm definitely a huge fan of Keyshawn. He's an exciting fighter. He knows how to promote himself. He knows how to talk himself up. So, yeah, I'm definitely a fan and excited about the future for him.
All right.
For sure. Hopefully he gets a fight in before the year ends. Like he's been real silent.
Has he fought this year so far? Yeah, he has.
I think he fought Pedraza early. But like Top Rank, they unleashing like a whole bunch of fights right now, and he not on them. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that either. But I was gonna say that Javante Tank Davis and Frank Martin line. You got Javante Tank Davis minus 700 and Frank Martin plus 450.
See, I feel like I would have to bet on knockdowns and knockouts.
Yeah, that's what you. Let me see if I got it. Anything else on that? Yeah, they only got that so far because I guess it's still so early. But yeah, you probably gonna get Javante Davis at a minus 225 on knockout, minus 280 somewhere along there. If you got the line set at minus 700.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep my money in my pockets. That's what I'm thinking.
You might can bet on like a prop, like would it be like a knockdown or something like that? I believe there will be a knockdown.
Definitely will be. Yeah.
Because I believe once Tank get the shooting the uppercut to the body, might see Tank. We might see Frank take a knee. So.
Yeah. All right, since Frank is about to go live soon, definitely want to tune into that as well. See if I can get some questions in. Yeah, I'm gonna end it with this. I appreciate you coming on, staying on, talking boxing with me. Yeah.
Sure.
I do owe you some time in the gym. What side of town you stay on?
Ellenwood.
Ah, damn, you south. That's south, right?
Yeah, that's the south, but it's more like 285 east to 76, 75.
Damn, I was gonna tell you come up to Smyrna, because that's where I work out at.
Just so Smyrna that's 75 north, so I can literally take 285 back there and just come down.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that far. It's not far.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I can you come to Smyrna, you can work out with me, and I can push you on my buddy pass. But the only thing is the gym used to have a heavy bag, and I don't know what's going on. Like they had a heavy bag. They had some boxing equipment up in there. They don't have the reflex bag, but they have the I don't know what you call it. The
double M bag?
Yeah, maybe.
Double M.
Yeah, they got that. But I can hit the mitts.
Yeah, for sure.
Versatile. But I'm gonna definitely try to catch you in the gym. I'm gonna work on that commitment.
I see you working out early in the morning. See, I get mine in that early in the morning as well, but right after that, I gotta get right to business with that. So I gotta touch the bag, hit the mix, and double in or something. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll figure something out. My schedule changed, so I do work out early now, so I can work out before work. But okay. I can do evenings too. You be at Mustafa's gym, right? That's what you just.
Absolutely.
What days?
Every day, except for the day.
Okay. I might be able to catch a evening workout there or something. I don't know. I've been to Mustafa gym. I used to go all the time, but working out there, I already know he gonna be talking hella shit. I come in there to work out.
You gotta be in shape to come there because we had the heat on.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll link up for sure offline.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate you coming on, like I said, and I'll catch up with you soon.
All right, no doubt.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in live. For the 6 people that I got active right now that came from Instagram to YouTube, you got a place in my heart. I really appreciate it. Definitely tap in with me every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be committed to that. Going from Instagram now to YouTube and trying to mainly and solely just go live on YouTube. But for now, I'll be using Instagram for my callers. Because I don't have another software right now that allows for callers. I'm trying to step my game up, so be patient with me. But I definitely appreciate y'all tuning in, transferring over from Instagram to YouTube, and subscribing. It means a lot. So, until next time, peace. And thank y'all again.